Ladies and gentlemen, there's a problem that people have understanding why a supporter of President Trump wouldn't vote for George W. Bush, okay? There are people who don't understand why a person would vote for Trump if you could just vote for another Republican, okay? It comes down to foreign policy. Trump is against never-ending military conflict. The average Republican, the conservative Republican, the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld Lincoln Project Republican, the good, morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat and conservative Republican from the early 2000s have no problem with never-ending military conflict. That's why when you read Rupert Murdoch hosted Ron DeSantis at his California ranch and told him Fox News will support your bid for president in 2024. This is an MSN article. And then when you read a CNN article, Murdoch's empire celebrates DeSantis as future of GOP after midterms. You have a whole lot of people, the base, Trump's base. How about 73 million Americans, most of whom will not gravitate towards DeSantis because he is like Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan and George W. Bush, okay? That's the difference. They do not care. Okay, never-ending military conflict is literally not a concern. It's not hyperbolic. It's not a concern of people who dislike Trump. It is not a concern at all. They don't even know what it is. They don't care. They just think that things happen, and you know what? It's just okay. Foreign policy, there will be military conflict, and if the mentality of the average morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrat and useful and willing buffoon who is a good conservative who just wants a good Republican, not like Trump, a circus like Trump, a good Republican who media and Democrats will respect. These people are living in a delusional world. But that type of person doesn't care about sending Americans to military conflict. They don't care. It's not an issue. It's not. They'll point to Trump launching a missile someplace and they'll say, you see, it's the same thing. No, it's not. Not everything is morally relative. There are differences in the world, okay? That's why maybe you drive a BMW and not a Nissan. They're both cars. What's the problem? It's a difference. There are differences, okay? They don't care. So when you hear that Rupert Murdoch hosted Ron DeSantis at his ranch, that should tell you everything you need to know, okay? There are populist Trump Republicans who, by the way, Trump, the knock on him from DeSantis is, oh, he's not conservative enough. Well, okay, let's see. The Trump tax cuts were still in effect to this day, okay? So he cut taxes on individuals and corporations, boosted the economy to where we had record low poverty and record highs in household median income in 2019. He wanted to build a wall. He didn't get support from obviously Democrats blocked it, and also he didn't even get support from his own political party. Okay, he really didn't get that much support from his own. He was willing to give Dreamers citizenship, and I want Dreamers to become citizens. Okay, I have friends who are Dreamers. I want them to become citizens, but I wouldn't mind a wall as well. But Democrats said, no. So he wanted to build a wall. He did everything possible. This is something that conservatives were talking about for years, but didn't have the courage or the guts to do so. What else? 3 Supreme Court judges. It's now a Make America Great Again Supreme Court to Chuck Schumer. What more? How is this man not a conservative? Okay. The Second Amendment issues, the Republican Party in general caves to media pressure. But You have Trump, who pushes back on a number of cultural topics that Republicans would still don't talk about, or do talk about sometimes, kind of, sort of. He doesn't care about media. That's the one thing, if you want to say a conservative. The great conservatives out there either controlled the media message or ignored the apoplectic, hysterical response from media that didn't like their viewpoint. Okay? Trump is the embodiment of Ronald Reagan. Not DeSantis, not somebody more presidential. You think Ronald Reagan, if Ronald Reagan had this media, if FDR had this media, if anyone had this media leveled against them, where if you type in Trump, it's only negative news on the search engines. If you type in Biden, it's generally positive, and then the Republicans are after him. Or no, not even that. Not even that. You get like an entire public relations monstrosity covering up for him. A big part of one's presidential demeanor in politics is driven by media. Does Trump say certain things? Yeah, he does. In a certain way, he brings it upon himself, but at the same time, Trump will say something and then media will, oh my God, the hysterical, apoplectic, frenzied reaction will sensationalize anything he says. And that's where the polarization comes from, okay? They say, well, Trump's polarizing. If you have any opinion that is not sanctioned by the morally superior, wonderful, highly educated liberal Democrats in this country, from Jimmy Kimmel to bureaucrats to AOC, oh my God, it's a big problem. You should never have been born. So that's where the polarization comes in. Okay, Trump is not really polarizing. Trump is not polarizing because media, if media covered up for Trump the way they cover up for Biden, everyone would love Trump. They would just focus on like hilarious. He has a great personality when media is not obsessing over like little things, like things he said here and there. Biden can tell Charlemagne the God the most bigoted statement in the world, that you aren't who you are if you don't vote for him. And immediately, journalists from the Washington Post will cover up for Biden. Immediately. They'll say Trump is worse, even though he categorically is not worse. It was Biden who wrote the crime bill, and it was Trump who signed prison reform legislation where we had record low poverty with Trump. Now inflation's going up with Biden, and we're going to experience, unfortunately, more bank runs. I mean, the economy is we're on a tightrope. Foreign policies, we're 90 seconds to midnight, according to the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. We're closer than ever to nuclear confrontation. So it's like, I don't know, like, what does DeSantis have to offer? Trump has already proven. What on earth does DeSantis have to offer? Like, I know that there are a number of people who think DeSantis is fantastic, but there's no DeSantis dossier yet. There will be. And when there's a DeSantis, I mean, I don't know for sure. I hope there's not. I like DeSantis. But it's like, he's not doing himself any favors by running against Trump and saying that Trump isn't a conservative, because that is a stupid strategic move. You can't go after Trump for being a criminal because he's not a criminal. They hate him, and they're going after him because they hate him. Okay? Trump didn't commit a crime. If he did, it wouldn't take 7 years to find out what the heck he did. Okay, and then in New York, they're waiting on some kind of federal statute that never happened. The FEC fined Clinton and the DNC. They didn't find Trump. So you can't go after him for being, then you can't go after him for being a criminal. You can't go after him for being divisive, because he knows media will just create an uproar when it's a Republican and cover for the Democrat or Biden or Hunter. So then the next thing is, well, okay, how does DeSantis go after Trump? And hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel right now. But how does DeSantis go after Trump and not alienate the base, which is 70 plus million Americans, by the way, that he needs. So he said, oh, he's not conservative. Oh, okay, well, whatever that means. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel. He's against never-ending military conflict. So that's all you need to know. Hit subscribe to this channel right now.